Welcome to my channel Super Rare Coins. Today is best top 3 coins. Please don't skip this video. So let's get it started. The United States 1-cent coin of 1987 with the D mint mark is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln penny is the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. By 1987, the Lincoln Memorial reverse had already been in use for nearly 3 decades, having replaced the original wheat ears design in 1959. The 1987 D penny reflects the late 20th century era of American coinage, when billions of coins were being produced annually to sustain the expanding U.S. economy. It was minted at the Denver Mint, denoted by the D below the date on the obverse side. The obverse of the 1987 D penny features a detailed right-facing bust of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Above his head runs the "In God We Trust," to the left is the word "Liberty," and to the right is the date 1987 with the D mint mark underneath it, indicating the Denver Mint as its place of origin. This design has been one of the most enduring in U.S. coinage, representing Lincoln as a symbol of freedom, unity, and the preservation of the Union during the Civil War. The reverse of the 1987 D Lincoln Cent depicts the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo introduced in 1959. This design commemorated the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. At the top of the reverse is the United States of America, and below it is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. At the bottom is the denomination 1 cent, which is spelled out to prevent confusion with other coins. If closely examined, the statue of Lincoln can be seen seated inside the memorial, a small but iconic detail of this design. The 1987 D penny belongs to the modern zinc-based composition era. After 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from mostly copper pennies to copper-plated zinc coins due to the rising cost of copper. The 1987 penny is composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. It weighs 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.52 millimeters. The edge of the coin is plain, without any ridges, or reading the copper-plated surface gives the coin its traditional reddish appearance, though over time it can darken or develop spotting due to environmental exposure. The Denver Mint struck more than 4 billion pennies in 1987, including this D mint-marked version. This extremely high mintage makes the 1987 D penny a very common coin, readily available in circulation and coin jars across the United States. It was produced using high-speed coining presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute. Proof coins for 1987 were minted separately at the San Francisco Mint with an S mint mark, while Philadelphia struck its own version without a mint mark. In 1987, the penny was still widely used in everyday commerce. It was essential for making exact change and was heavily relied upon by vending machines, parking meters, and cash registers. However, by this time, the penny's purchasing power had already declined significantly compared to earlier decades. The coin often accumulated in households, coin jars, and savings banks, as its small denomination made it less useful for larger transactions. Most 1987 D pennies found today in circulation are worth only their face value of 1 cent due to their extremely high mintage. However, uncirculated examples that were never used and have retained their original mint luster may be valued slightly higher by collectors, often between 5 cents and 50 cents, depending on their condition and grade. Mint state, MS65 or higher, specimens certified by professional grading services can reach $1 to $5, and proof-like or special examples may be worth even more. The most valuable 1987 D pennies are those with mint errors or high-grade proof-like qualities. The 1987 D penny has several known error varieties that make them collectible. Some of these include double die obverse, DDO, doubling seen on the date, Liberty, or In God We Trust. Off-center strikes, where the design is struck away from the center. Die cracks and cuds, raised lines or blobs on the coin due to die damage, WIE error, a die break between the B and E of Liberty creating what looks like the letter I. Missing copper plating, exposing the zinc core, creating dramatic appearance differences. These errors can range in value from a few dollars to several $100s depending on severity and rarity. The 1987 penny continues the long tradition of honoring Abraham Lincoln, a president widely regarded for his leadership during one of America's most challenging periods, the Civil War. The Lincoln Memorial reverse symbolized unity and remembrance. In the late 1980s, pennies were a symbol of everyday commerce, found everywhere from convenience stores to gas stations. The penny also remained a cultural icon tied to phrases like, "A penny saved is a penny earned," and the notion of finding a penny as a token of good luck. The appearance and value of a 1987 D penny are significantly influenced by its condition. Circulated pennies often show wear, darkening, and scratches, while uncirculated coins retain their original reddish shine. Collectors often categorize them as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, based on the amount of original copper color remaining. To preserve a 1987 penny, it should be kept in a dry, airtight container away from humidity to prevent corrosion of the zinc core. The 1987 D United States 1-cent coin is a common but historically rich piece of American coinage. Though its face value remains only 1 cent, its place in the Lincoln cent series ensures its continued interest among collectors and hobbyists. Billions were produced, making it widely available, yet certain rare errors and high-grade examples can command significant premiums. This coin is a reminder of the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln and the ever-evolving nature of U.S. currency in the modern era. Next, the United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the penny, minted in 1996, represents one of the most widely produced and circulated coins in the U.S. monetary system. It is part of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1996, the Lincoln cent had already been in circulation for 87 years and had undergone several changes, especially in its metal composition and reverse design. The 1996 issue continued the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which had been in use since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This coin carries significant historical, cultural, and economic importance despite its low face value of just 1 cent. The obverse side of the 1996 penny features a detailed right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This portrait was designed by Victor David Brenner and has remained largely unchanged since its introduction in 1909. On the obverse include the national motto, "In God We Trust," located along the upper rim, the word "Liberty" placed to the left side of Lincoln's profile, and the year of minting, 1996, on the right. Below the year, a mint mark may be found, D, for the Denver Mint, or no mint mark for the Philadelphia Mint. Proof versions bear an S for the San Francisco Mint. This side of the coin symbolizes the enduring legacy of Lincoln as a figure of unity, freedom, and resilience. The reverse design, created by Frank Gasparo, depicts the Lincoln Memorial located in Washington, D.C. This design replaced the original wheat ears reverse in 1959. At the top of the reverse, the United States of America arches over the memorial, while the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, is placed just above the structure. The denomination 1 cent is clearly displayed at the bottom, emphasizing its value as legal tender. Remarkably, when magnified, one can observe the tiny seated figure of Lincoln inside the memorial, showcasing the level of detail incorporated into this design. This reverse remained in circulation until 2008, when it was replaced by the Union Shield reverse in 2010. The 1996 Lincoln cent was composed of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, a composition introduced in 1982 to reduce production costs. Prior to 1982, pennies were primarily made of copper, but rising metal prices necessitated the change. The coin has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness of 1.52 millimeters, and a weight of 2.5 grams. Its edge is plain, lacking any reading or decorative elements. The coin retains the classic reddish-brown appearance due to its thin copper coating, but over time, it may develop spots, toning, or corrosion depending on storage conditions and circulation wear. The 1996 penny was minted in massive quantities across 3 facilities: Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, for proof coins. Billions of these coins were produced to meet the everyday demands of commerce. Philadelphia and Denver struck the majority of circulation coins, while San Francisco minted limited proof versions exclusively for collectors. These proof coins were made with highly polished dies and special planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish and sharper details compared to regular circulation strikes. The immense production figures reflect the continued reliance on the penny in the 1990s economy. Despite its low purchasing power in 1996, the penny was still heavily used in daily transactions across the United States. It was essential for vending machines, cash registers, and exact change calculations. However, inflation had already diminished its purchasing power significantly, making it less valuable in real terms than during earlier decades. Pennies were commonly found in loose change, collected in jars, and frequently overlooked or discarded due to their minimal worth. Despite this, the U.S. government continued to produce them in large numbers to satisfy public demand. From a collector's perspective, most 1996 pennies in circulated condition hold only their face value of 1 cent. They are considered common coins because of their high mintage numbers. However, uncirculated examples, especially those with original luster, can have slightly higher value, often between a few cents to a few dollars depending on their grade. Proof coins from the San Francisco Mint are more desirable and typically valued higher among collectors. Additionally, error coins from 1996, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or improperly plated cents, can fetch premium prices, ranging from a few dollars to potentially hundreds if the error is significant and well documented. The 1996 penny has a few notable varieties and errors that attract numismatists. Some of the more interesting errors include double die obverse, where the inscriptions or date appear doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process, and off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the planchet. Other known issues include die cracks, broad strikes, and missing copper plating, which expose the zinc core. These varieties are relatively scarce compared to the massive mintage but can make a standard penny far more valuable to collectors. In the mid-1990s, the debate over whether to continue producing the penny had already begun. The cost to mint a penny was approaching or exceeding its face value, largely due to rising metal and production costs. Nevertheless, the penny was retained because of public sentiment, the convenience of exact change, and its cultural association with Abraham Lincoln. Many Americans viewed the penny as a symbol of thrift, luck, as in the saying, "Find a penny, pick it up." And national heritage. The 1996 penny is part of this ongoing story, representing a time when the coin was still ubiquitous. In everyday commerce, the value and appearance of a 1996 penny depend heavily on its condition. Coins that remained in circulation for years tend to exhibit wear, scratches, and discoloration, reducing their desirability. Uncirculated coins stored in protective holders or rolls often retain their original red luster, which is highly prized by collectors. Proof coins struck with exceptional care are usually preserved in their original government-issued packaging and maintain a deep mirror-like surface. Proper storage away from moisture and chemicals is essential to prevent copper spotting or zinc corrosion. The 1996 United States 1-cent coin is a common yet historically significant piece of American currency. It continues the long-standing tradition of the Lincoln Cent series while showcasing the Lincoln Memorial reverse that defined the design for nearly 50 years. Although most examples remain of low monetary value, they carry cultural importance and are often the starting point for young numismatists' collections. Whether found in pocket change, stored in coin albums, or preserved as a proof specimen, the 1996 penny tells a story of economic transition, mass production, and enduring national symbolism. Next, the 1968 United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the Lincoln penny, is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1968, the Lincoln Cent had already been circulating for nearly 6 decades, serving as the smallest denomination in U.S. currency and playing a vital role in everyday transactions. The D mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities of the United States Mint. The 1968 D penny belongs to the era of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, which was introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. This coin reflects a transitional period in U.S. history, as the late 1960s were a time of cultural change, economic adjustments, and heavy coin production to meet the growing demand for commerce. The obverse of the 1968 D penny showcases a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. This image of Lincoln is one of the most enduring and iconic depictions in U.S. coinage history. Above Lincoln's head is the motto "In God We Trust," which has appeared on all U.S. coins since the mid-20th century. To the left side of Lincoln's profile is the word "Liberty," and to the right side is the date 1968, accompanied by the mint mark D, identifying its origin at the Denver Mint. This design emphasizes Lincoln's legacy as the president who preserved the Union and abolished slavery. The reverse design of the 1968 D Lincoln Cent features the Lincoln Memorial, which replaced the wheat ears reverse in 1959. This design, created by Frank Gasparo, depicts the famous Washington, D.C. monument in fine detail, with its columns, steps, and even a tiny representation of the seated Lincoln statue visible under magnification. They include "United States of America" across the top, the Latin phrase "E pluribus unum" just above the memorial, and 1 cent prominently at the bottom, denoting its face value. This reverse design was in use from 1959 until 2008 and became one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage history. The 1968 D penny was struck using the classic bronze composition, consisting of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. This composition was standard for Lincoln cents from 1909 until mid-1982, when rising copper prices led to a change to a copper-plated zinc core. The 1968 D penny weighs 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.52 millimeters. Its edge is plain, smooth, as is typical for US cents. The bronze composition gives the coin a rich reddish-brown color when freshly struck, though over time, circulation and oxidation often cause the surface to darken or develop patina. The Denver Mint produced over 2.88 billion Lincoln cents in 1968, making this year's D mint-marked penny one of the most common coins of its time. In addition to Denver, pennies were also struck at the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints. However, 1968 is notable because it was one of the first years in modern history when the S mint mark for San Francisco was reintroduced for proof sets only. Regular circulation strikes with an S mint mark were not produced, and all Philadelphia coins continued to bear no mint mark. During the late 1960s, the penny retained significant purchasing power compared to today. It was widely used in vending machines, payphones, and for making exact change in retail environments. A single penny could still buy small candies or contribute meaningfully to the cost of newspapers, postage, or basic goods. The 1968 D penny was produced in massive numbers to support this everyday economic activity, and millions remain in circulation today, though many have been withdrawn or hoarded by collectors. Because of its high mintage, the 1968 D penny is generally considered common. Most circulated examples are worth only their face value of 1 cent. However, uncirculated examples in mint state, MS, condition can fetch a premium. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services may be valued between 30 cents and $3, while superb gem examples, MS-67, can occasionally reach $30, $100 or more, depending on demand. Proof coins from San Francisco in 1968, with the S mint mark, are separate from circulation issues and often hold higher collectible value, especially in deep cameo, DCAM, condition. The 1968 D penny has several known minting errors and varieties that attract collectors. Double die obverse, DDO doubling on the date or die cracks and cuds, raised lines or blobs caused by die damage. Off-center strikes, coins struck with a misaligned die resulting in partial designs. Repunched mint mark, RPM. Cases where the D mint mark was struck more than once, leaving a visible shadow or overlap. These errors vary in rarity and value, with some fetching anywhere from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on their severity and visibility. The 1968 D Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It is a reflection of a time when the U.S. was experiencing cultural transformation, economic changes, and an era of large-scale coinage production. The penny symbolized thrift and was an integral part of everyday life. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse continued to honor his contributions to American history, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse celebrated unity and remembrance during a time of national challenges. The condition of a 1968 D penny plays a major role in determining its value and desirability among collectors. Circulated examples typically appear brown, BN, or red-brown, RB, with signs of wear and scratches. Uncirculated specimens with full original red, RD, color are far more desirable. Proper storage in coin flips holders or airtight capsules is recommended to prevent oxidation and discoloration, especially due to the high copper content. The 1968 D United States 1-cent coin remains a common but historically significant piece of U.S. coinage. With a mintage exceeding 2 billion, it is easily found in collections, coin rolls, and old change jars. While its face value is minimal, its legacy as part of the long-running Lincoln cent series makes it a meaningful collectible for beginners and seasoned numismatists alike. High-grade examples, proof-like strikes, and rare error coins from this year are the true highlights for collectors seeking something special from this era. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe my channel for more videos.